it's interesting how the decentralized financing or DeFi in the official lingo offers some alternative to savings where you can actually open a savings account with some kind of cryptocurrency that you choose, and then you get a more of a higher yield. And I'm talking about places like Aave that we actually looked into heavily last week. I think you actually put some money into that platform. It's spelled AAVE. There's also obviously BlockFi is much more known as far as commercially advertised and everything.
Yeah,
but basically,
BlockFi is not decentralized.
Yeah, well, it's different. Yeah,
That's why I don't like BlockFi.
Yeah.
Because it's just like a bank, basically.
Yeah, they operate more like a bank, but even though they're not really like a bank because they are not FDIC insured as far as the funding.
They're worse than a bank, basically.
Right, exactly. But anyways, the let's just stick to the decentralized, which is Aave. I actually listened to the CEO the other day in a different podcast. But so in a nutshell, what these guys do is that you convert your fiat currency, whether you have dollars or euros or whatever, into some kind of stable coin, in this case, like DAI or US Coinbase dollars or whatever.
Or Tether or whatever.
Tether, yeah, anything that is like basically stable coin, that means matches dollar for dollar to your currency. You cryptonize, if you will, that's the word, your fiat currency, and then you deposit it into their account, and then because they provide lending, it's almost like a peer-to-peer lending in the blockchain. So they provide lending to certain investors or people that want the lending for whatever startup or something. They're able to provide you with an interest rate or a yield on your amount that you lend that is much higher than what a bank will give you, which these days is basically zero. So depending on which coin you choose, you have different rates that vary from 2-3% to sometimes as high as 10-12%. I think I've seen, which is a huge difference.
But
but
it just depends. It depends on the supply and demand of the pool, basically.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it's completely dynamic. That's the cool thing, that you can see actually the rates. It's not that you block or you lock a CD rate at 2% for the next 6 months or 12 months or something, and then it's locked. And then as long as you don't move your money, you get that savings rate at the end of the when the CD matures, basically. In this case, the rate actually is constantly oscillating depending on supply and demand. But you can see it, and it's a contract again with the blockchain, so you can see your savings rate go up and down. And then again, it's a stable coin, so you're not losing value with the actual coin itself. It's not like you invest in Ethereum or something, and then Ethereum or Bitcoin may go up and down, and then you lose value there or gain value. But this one, because it's a stable coin, you are matching dollar per dollar, and then if you put like $2,000, $3,000, and you get a 10% interest rate average, okay, through the year, then at the end of the year you have like $300 that you just made that you can cash out. And it's a fairly simple transaction. So, and I think the interest is also added to your account on a weekly or daily basis. I mean, those are details that we need to look into.
It's based on every time there's a new block, it issues interest.
Right.
And I'm not sure the frequency of the blocks with Aave, but every time there's a new block.
It's pretty frequent.
It pays very frequently.
Right. I mean, you can see your balance or your ledger, basically, and you can see how whatever you deposited, 2-3 days later, you can see that you have $2-3 more, $4 more, $5 more, depending on obviously your principal and your interest. But you can see the growth on a fairly frequent basis. So you had a little experience with Aave so far. I know that it's a little bit kind of complicated still to transfer money to get because you need to transfer, first of all, you need to convert your fiat currency somewhere to a stable coin. And then you need to move that stable coin to a wallet that is connected to this entity, which in this case we're talking Aave. And then from that wallet, you transfer it to them, right? Is that more or less the process? And obviously there's a small fee or a fee depending on which.
Yeah, the problem was, not the problem, but basically it's just a lot of steps.
Right.
The first step is, so I was like, okay, well, I have a savings account with Synchrony Financial, and they used to give decent rates, like, I forget, like 2 point something.
That was before the interest rates went to zero.
And it's like, if you're just going to have cash parked, you always need cash. And so it's like, okay, well, at least I get something. And now the interest is nothing. I mean, it's like point something percent. I don't even know exactly what it is now. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna try this. So I moved basically some money into basically I transferred it back to my checking, and then from my checking I bought I did DAI in this case. I like DAI just because it's completely open. As far as the protocol, it's not like Tether, which there's some questions about. But anyways, so I bought DAI, and then I bought DAI in Coinbase Pro, and then from Coinbase Pro I had to move it to a wallet.
To a wallet,
Yeah.
right?
So then I had to move it to a wallet, and then from the wallet I had to move it to Aave.
Aave,
And
right.
then on Aave, then you have to basically what's the right word? Like deposit it, so to speak.
Right.
So it was like multiple steps. And the problem with the fees is obviously, okay, I have to pay Coinbase their fee for buying it. And then I have to move it to a wallet, and there's a fee for that. And then moving it from the wallet to Aave, there's another fee for that. And then the other problem was Aave, I didn't realize when you actually deposit it, and basically when you do the confirmation, they only accept payment in Ethereum for the fees instead of DAI. So in the other case, I was paying DAI for my fees.
Okay, so you paid a gas fee.
So then I had to pay Ethereum, and I didn't have any Ethereum in that wallet. And so I had to go and fucking buy more Ethereum and then move it to that wallet.
Fee. Oh, I see.
And then
okay.
pay that fee. And it ended up being, all in all, the gas fee, like the forget the Coinbase fee, but the actual like movement fees I had to pay.
The Ethereum is probably what killed you. That's the one that
was the
highest.
biggest one.
Yeah.
And it was like
Ethereum alone probably was like $50 or something.
the total, basically from moving everything, excluding the Coinbase fee, I paid like $90 or something.
Wow.
So obviously, if you're doing a very large amount, that percentage is small, but that's irregardless. So if I was moving $100, I would have paid $90 in fees.
Yeah. So it means you need to make
So it
100% return to even make up the fees.
You
So
have to.
It's similar to when you buy stocks, and back in the days with the stock, the trading platforms, you have a $7 fee per transaction or per trade.
Yeah.
And then you say, okay, I'm gonna buy one share of whatever, $100. So that's 7%. So that means the share needs to go up 7% just to make up the fee. So whether you buy 100,000 or whatever is much more.
So in this case, because obviously I was using it as like a savings account, the relative amount of the $90 to what I was moving isn't super large, but it is still basically a percentage that I'm gonna have to make up.
So I didn't know that Aave requires that in Ethereum. I mean, that's kind of
Yeah, it's because
that's a setback for me. I mean, it's kind of
right now the big thing is moving everything to L2, and that'll reduce the fees a lot. But we're just not there yet.
right.
We're not there yet.
Okay. Well, this comes back to the point that we were talking earlier about with the NFTs, about how
NFTs, same thing.
yeah, exactly. How all these transactions, not only do they have some fees that are because of the power requirements, we call gas fees of the actual protocol, but also the seamless transactions. I mean, when you go to like when the goal of all the transactions, even e-commerce, if you go back to normal e-commerce transactions, Amazon or whatever, is to make it seamless for the consumer to say, I want this, I pay for it, and I'm done. Now you have multiple steps, which are not so easy to understand for the average consumer. So obviously, they need to improve a lot in the interface. And you go to Aave's website, which is like a web app too that you can download. You can bookmark on your phone because it's not a traditional native app. So anyways, you can go there and research and all that. But bottom line is that all these little steps require a little bit of knowledge and expertise as far as getting them done. And so I'm not surprised that it kind of like, I wouldn't say that it scares, but it kind of like, it's not the average consumer maybe doesn't feel very comfortable not doing this, but at the same time, they give you a higher yield, and once you're done. Basically, you just see your money grow. But again, this is just our opinion, and we're definitely not financial advisors. We're just kind of bringing things that we see as they happen, and I think they're interesting because, again, this is another part of DeFi or decentralized financing that is picking up quite a bit of steam. I mean, just like a few years ago or some years ago, we had all this peer-to-peer lending when when people were not able to go to a bank and get a loan, then they had this peer-to-peer lending where you get like more or less vetted, and then you can get a loan. This with DeFi, you actually have this security of the of the blockchain verifying your contract and everything else, and then you can basically, get some yield off of your savings. The caveat is that it's not FDIC insured, therefore, play at your own risk if you're up for that, like anything else.